The very first wedding this business ever booked was for $300. We didn't even own a camera then. And at that time, that felt like a win. We were finally in the game and we had a real client, someone who trusted us with one of the most important days of their life. But here's what I didn't understand then. That price wasn't just a number. It was a message to every client that came after about who we were, what we were worth, and what kind of work we were going to attract. And the clients heard that message loud and clear. If you're a photographer or videographer a couple years in, maybe you're booking work, you're getting better, but something just feels off about the clients you're attracting, this video is for you, because there's something about undercharging that almost nobody talks about. And it's not just the money you're leaving on the table. One quick note before we get into this, if you're new here, my name is Josiah, and my wife and I run a luxury wedding photo and video business. And I just finished a 5-part series called The Full-Time Roadmap. If you're still working at your 9-to-5 and are trying to figure out whether or how to make the jump into full-time creative work, the link's in the description. I'd start there. This is series 2, and it starts right here with a thing that almost derails every creative business before it ever really gets going. And that's pricing. Now, back to that $300 wedding. We were borrowing gear and buying things we would never buy again if we could go back. We were simply figuring it out as we went. And we thought that would be fine. I mean, you have to start somewhere. You have to build a portfolio, and you kind of have to prove yourself. You have to do your time. The problem wasn't the $300 wedding. The problem was what the $300 was building. Because at that price point, the $300 to $600, $700 range, there is a specific type of client that price attracts. And let me tell you a couple stories. We shot a wedding once where the groom broke his tooth on the dance floor. We then spent the rest of the night trying to photograph a man who couldn't actually smile. Another wedding. In a hayfield, mind you. Right before the ceremony, the bride went missing for 30 or 40 minutes, while the groom was standing up front at the altar waiting. Turns out, she was on a hayride, as one does, and completely forgot everyone was waiting on her. There was no planner, no coordinator, nobody running the day, just us and the chaos. And we kept showing up because we needed the bookings. And the truth is, we were tired, not from the work we were attracting. And there's something about looking at your portfolio and feeling embarrassed by what you see. That's a signal. That's your business telling you something needs to change. Because your price is not just a number, it's a filter. And when you're undercharging, you're filtering in the wrong people. Quick pause. If this is landing for you, hit the like button. I'm building this channel from scratch, and I'll talk about that more at the end. It genuinely helps more people find this content. Now, let's talk about the moment that changed everything for us. We were lucky enough to work alongside a mentor named Sherry. She is a luxury wedding photographer who has been in the industry a while now and is no exaggeration, probably one of the best. And we loved working with her, and still do, but Sherry had been nudging us, graciously, honestly, for a while. She would say, "You need to raise your prices." We heard it. We just hadn't felt it yet. And then she told us something that stopped me cold. She told us that she had referred us to shoot video for one of her weddings, probably an $80,000 to $100,000 event. And that bride had second guessed her recommendation because we were priced too low. Let that sink in. My first reaction was absolute horror, because in my head, I had been worried we were too expensive, that our prices were probably why certain clients weren't booking us. And it was the opposite, come to find out. And here's why that happens. We had outgrown our demographic without even realizing it. We had moved into a new tier of clients. And in that new tier, in that new pond, our prices made us the smallest fish in the water. A bride spending close to 6 figures on her wedding day isn't asking how much does this cost. She's asking, can I trust this? And your price is one of the first signals that answers that question before she even talks to you. Simply put, we had been asking the wrong question. We kept asking ourselves what we thought we were worth, but we should have been asking ourselves what the ideal client in our mind thought of our prices. For me, that was the paradigm shift. I had felt for a while that something needed to change in our prices, but that was the nudge. It was the nudge I needed to actually make the jump. And from that point, we decided we were going all in with the higher end market to raise our prices, trust the process, and shoot for our dream clients. And that's exactly what we did. But here's what nobody tells you about that decision. You can't just raise your prices and wait for different clients to appear. That is not how this works. You have to earn your way into that market before the client shows up. And that means you have to invest in yourself. If you want to shoot luxury weddings, you have to look like someone who shoots luxury weddings. And before you've even shot one, that's the hard part. A bride spending $75,000 to $100,000 on her wedding is not going to book a photographer whose portfolio is full of barn weddings. It's just not going to happen. So what do? You build the portfolio on purpose. For us, that meant styled shoots. And if you're not familiar with a styled shoot is essentially a simulated wedding. You're at a real venue with real vendors creating real content. Flat lays, ceremony setups, bridal portraits, drone footage, all of it. And you use that content to show potential clients what you're capable of, and not just what you've already been hired to do. We did multiple styled shoots. We even flew to San Diego to be a part of an incredible styled shoot put on by Sherry. And that ended up being the backbone of our brand for 2 to 3 years. We purchased online courses from photographers and videographers we genuinely admired. And we even flew 2 of the best wedding videographers out to speak at an event we put on. Because we wanted to learn from the best to eventually be the best. We upgraded our gear. We rebuilt the brand from the ground up. Thousands of dollars to get our work and our presence to where it needed to be to attract the clients we were after. And I say that not to make this sound easy or to make it sound like money fixes everything, because it doesn't. I say it because this is the principle underneath everything in this whole video. Your ideal client is not going to find you by accident. You have to methodically, surgically tailor your website, your editing style, your social media, your entire brand for that specific person. They have to be able to see themselves in your work before they're even ever going to reach out. And this is important. If you want other people to take you seriously, you have to take yourself seriously first. Now, I want to be honest with you, because I think this part gets skipped over. When we raised our prices, bookings slowed down. They slowed down a lot. We were no longer the affordable option. And the inquiries that used to come in stopped coming in. There were dry seasons that were harder than anything we'd experienced when we were charging less. To sum it up, it was, and sometimes is, uncomfortable. It's scary, especially when you feel like you need every single booking you can get. But here's the other side of that. We now shoot significantly fewer weddings than other photographers and videographers in our area who are charging half of what we charge. And now, we're proud, so proud of every single wedding we capture. We cannot wait to post it. And we're inspired by it. We are genuinely grateful we got to be there. So for less work, we're getting the exact clients this business was built for. Quality over quantity is not a saying. It's a real trade-off. And I believe with everything I've seen, it is definitely one worth making. And here's what raising your prices actually allows you to do. It lets you be selective. Now, before we agree to shoot any wedding, we ask ourselves 4 questions. 1, is it a quality venue? 2, do they have a planner or coordinator? That's really important. 3, what is their overall budget and vision for their wedding? And 4, does their aesthetic actually match ours? If the answer to any of those is no, we refer them to someone who's a better fit. That's not rejection, that's just brand protection. When you're charging $300, you can't afford to say no to anything. When you've invested in your brand and your prices reflect that, you can. And that changes everything about how you experience this industry. So, here's a challenge I want to leave you with. Pull up your last 5 bookings and look at them. Look at the clients. Look at the venues. Just look at the work. Is it something you're proud of? Is it something you're excited about? If there are weddings in there you wouldn't post, your pricing might be exactly why. I'm Josiah. My wife and I run a luxury wedding photo and video business. And I started this channel because I think the real business side of photography and videography doesn't get talked about honestly enough. I'm currently at 42 subscribers right now, and I'm documenting the whole thing in real time. The growth, the slow seasons, the mistakes, and the wins. If that's something you want to follow, subscribe. I'm making this for you. And if you want to sit down and actually map out your pricing, where you are right now, where you need to be, and how to get there, I do one-on-one strategy calls. They're about 60 minutes long, and the link's in the description. I'll see you in the next one.